You get complacent, you get dead. That was drilled into us in the academy. And I don't disagree that this can hold true, but words mean things. And whether we know the proper dictionary definition or not, we have a sense of the scope of the word, but rarely do we dig down to find the seed of it and understand it. So I started digging. And the way that it ties into law enforcement burnout was something that I didn't really see coming. Interestingly, the first two definitions of complacency are focused on self-satisfaction, of all things. Self-satisfaction, especially when accompanied by unawareness of actual dangers or deficiencies. When it comes to safety, complacency can be dangerous. That's the first definition. And the second one is an instance of usually unaware or uninformed self-satisfaction. So what it's saying is when we allow ourselves to be satisfied with our environment or our abilities, we drop our awareness. But because of our training, our brain says when we drop our awareness, we might die. So when you boil that down into a thick syrup, our brain is categorizing satisfaction with death. And we wonder why we're never satisfied. The way that we apply this is the other part of burnout, because we have some things that we need to unlearn or change our perspective around in our culture. Our culture glorifies chronic stress, which serves as like the gas pedal, right? So we do this in a way in an effort to never become satisfied, i.e. to avoid death. So we push ourselves past our limits. We try to be perfect in all aspects of life, which is exhausting to our brains and our body in the process. So the culture glorifies this as the gas, but the brake is glorifying avoidance. So we end up spinning our wheels. So we put the gas on, but we also then avoid all the byproducts of what we're creating. So the job causes the stress. The culture views the negative effects as admirable. Suffering in silence, being, strong, silent type, lack of rest and then flexing about it, working loads of overtime, sacrificing our own basic needs, ignoring physical and mental health, glorifying being everyone's go-to person, and sacrificing who you are as an individual to fit the mold. And these things aren't helping us avoid death, they're killing us. It's death by 1,000 cuts, just a drip over time. So on the back end of that, you have the break and the practicing avoidance and denial of handling all of those byproducts. And you hear it all the time. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'm fine. No one wants to hear what's in my brain. I'm there for everyone else, but where's everyone when I need something? And then there's my favorite one. That's the sound of nothing at all. Just total shutdown. And this leaves most of us in a resistance against ourselves and a resistance against reality, which is just denial, essentially. And so we're spinning our wheels and we're either unaware that things can be different or we're afraid of the change. And we've come to see this as completely common and normalized. This is a part of the culture that we've created, but the key here is that we've created it. We are the culture. People make up the culture. So we have the ability to change this, but we have to start taking an honest look at ourselves and determine what we discern to be acceptable and not acceptable. We need to learn how to essentially let off the gas and let off the brake and put the car in park. And this is not putting the car in park and walking away as it explodes in the background in a big dramatic scene. This is putting the car in park to put fuel in the tank, to let the tires cool off, let the engine breathe a little bit. We have to start making sleep a priority. This is not a leisure. This is not something to be earned. Sleep is a necessity to the human brain and body. You see the way cruisers run when they're overworked. It's the same for your brain. We have to take care of our basic needs. You're no good to anyone if you're running out of gas. Go to the doctor. Get your yearly checkup. It's like general maintenance. Just go get your oil changed. Go talk to someone. Blow the carbon out of the engine. Learn to set some healthy boundaries. Sometimes objects in the mirror can be closer than they appear. You have to be able to speak up for yourself and say no once in a while. And stop trying to fit the mold. This mold is fueling higher rates of burnout, depression, anxiety, PTS, cardiovascular disease, heart attack, and stroke, and a lot less satisfaction out of life. Let's break the mold. Let's beat the burnout.